purpose isn't found in choosing between callings, but in answering all of them with excellence and a little bit of faith.
We were finishing medical school, 7 people, 7 doctors. We decided to merge. Our dream was to be famous and rich, but at one point I said, this is not for me. I think it was a little voice of God that I said I had to go differently.
Your practice has grown. You have been able to, I think, do these things that you didn't set out to do because you decided to pursue a higher calling, but those things also came as a byproduct of your service to other people.
There's a way of just treating patients as a professional, but at the same time understanding that the person has a need more than just body. I can tell you miracle and after miracle and after miracle, but I have to be humble. I have to honor God every day. In the practice, you are at risk. Every patient, every angiogram, something can go bad at the same time. So grateful that God put a heart in my heart as well.
Some people spend their lives trying to heal hearts. Few ever get the chance to do it twice. Once in the operating room, and again in the church. Dr. Luis Felipe Soto has done both. A renowned cardiologist, entrepreneur, businessman, and longtime pastor, Dr. Soto has spent more than 4 decades serving the people of New Orleans, Louisiana, healing bodies through medicine and restoring hearts through ministry. Born and raised in Guatemala, he came to the United States at the age of 24 to finish medical school, never imagining that his journey would lead him to build not only a thriving medical practice, but a thriving church. Alongside his wife, Janet, he's led Verbo Family Christian Church in New Orleans for over 40 years, guiding a community with the very same care and compassion that define his work as a physician. Dr. Soto's life is a reflection of purpose lived out fully through service, faith, and family. And his story is a reminder that purpose isn't found in choosing between callings, but in answering all of them with excellence and a little bit of faith. Dr. Soto, welcome to Art of Purpose.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you for having me on your podcast. I'm really honored.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's just an honor for us. I do want to start everything off just by saying that we have known each other for a long time. I feel like I met you, I think, when I was around 10 or 11 years old. You came to speak at our church.
We play basketball, remember?
Yeah, we played basketball. You were Dr. Soto's a big basketball fan, and we played basketball, I remember, a couple of times, and it's been so much fun to know you. And since I was a little kid, I want to share that I just looked up to you so much, and you've been an inspiration in my life personally. I know for so many other people, but for me when I was a kid, to be able to see somebody who is a professional, who is a businessman, has a wonderful family, and who is also serving in ministry was just something for me that was an inspiration. It's kind of going yeah, it can be done. And thank you for serving as a bit of a North Star in all of this. And it's such an honor to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Kenny.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And to everybody listening, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, to comment. Thank you so much for going on this journey with us. And we have another great guest today, so we're just going to get into the conversation. All right. So, Doctor, I kind of wanted to start off just with, what is it that got you interested in medicine in the first place?
Well, my dad, a gynecologist.
Oh.
My sister, a pediatrician. My brother, a surgeon.
Yeah.
And I was the third one, so let's do it again. We have the book, so we're ready to go. And that's where we are.
So got you interested. Okay, got it. And so in Guatemala, growing up, it seems like you grew up in this medical family, so it was almost like predestined, right, for you. Did you ever was it always the plan to come to the U.S.? Or when did that develop?
I was finishing high school. And there was a cardiologist that came to my school, and I was impressed with the way he was just telling how to hear his as a cardiologist.
Mm-hmm.
It was impressive, so I said I want to be like him.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided to come to the States and continue my all the after
schooling.
school. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. And so, how did you? So we're in Guatemala. And we hear so many people going from Guatemala to, let's say, like California, or Texas even. It's not common that I hear people choosing New Orleans, right? And so, how did you land in New Orleans? Was it because of school? How is it that you came to New Orleans?
Yeah, I traveled several states, and basically, I didn't want to go to Louisiana
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I prefer other states, and
Yeah.
I've been in Houston having some classes over there. So at the point that they call me, are you coming or not? Because I didn't answer, I'm coming.
Yeah.
But finally, we decided to go.
Decided to go. And we're in sort of moving to the United States from Guatemala. Were there any challenges for you? I would imagine, right? It's a bit of a different culture, shock. How did that whole experience moving from Guatemala to New Orleans? How was that?
Well, I was a desire to continue my studies, and Guatemala, I was limited in a way. So coming here in the States, it was a dream for me.
Okay. And how was it limiting? Because part of what we enjoy here talking as well is just like, everybody comes from different backgrounds, and overcoming challenges, or finding, if it's a limiting sort of space, finding a place and an opportunity for you to actually grow, right? In what ways was it limiting in Guatemala?
Basically, we have the books, but we don't have all the tools that we need. And I had the opportunity, especially in Houston, to go to some at least different. And I was basically working with cardiologists in Houston. It was amazing.
Yeah.
All the technology and everything that we don't have.
Got it. And what was it just about cardiology? I know that doctor that came to Guatemala had just a big impression on you, and sort of helped guide you into cardiology, inspire you into cardiology. As you decided to sort of get into it, what was it about the heart, the human heart, right, that fascinated you and made you say, actually, this is what I want to do?
I want to have to take you something background.
Yeah.
At the time that we were finishing medical school, we were seven doctors that we were about to start our professionals, and we decided to merge, and our dream was to be famous and rich.
Sure.
And we want to have a big hospital with different for Guatemala and everything else. But at one point I said, oh, this is not for me. I think it was a little voice of God that I said, I have to go differently.
Different route. That's interesting. And so it's one of those where it sounds like you started, rather than focusing perhaps on what it is that you wanted, right? Like your own personal desires of being rich or getting famous. And I think that's something that everybody struggles with, right? Because I think many times we start professions or we have goals because we want to be rich. We want to be, have all these things, material things that we may not have growing up. But it sounds like at some point you started focusing on maybe the people and serving people as opposed to like your own desires. Is that accurate?
I think this voice of God that I heard is that the Lord had something different, and I didn't know what it was, basically. But at the same time, I said, I have to do something different. And it happened that the time that I was coming, I didn't basically at the end come into the States because I was in church in Guatemala, and I was just desiring to serve God.
Okay.
And my parents were mad with me because they said, I'm not going to go anywhere. No, you have to go. We spend a lot of money for you, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
So I finally said, well, okay, listen, I'm going to go. But God is going to be my priority.
Wow. Okay. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And so you are serving in your church in Guatemala. So you're very sort of deep into it in service and a part of it. And that's where you wanted to go, actually. So you were willing to set aside, you heard this voice of God and set aside the practice of medicine and just work full-time ministry. And we have your parents on the other end kind of going like, no, you need to finish. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. And so then that's where you end up going to New Orleans and continuing your practice there. How did you, in choosing between, because what we see here is sort of this picture of maybe there's a calling or different callings in your life, right? There's medicine and there's also ministry, and you feel compelled to one, but you also we have mom and dad, so you're going to do the other one as well. When you came to the U.S. for schooling, how did you land now where we know you are, Verbo Christian Family Church, and how did that get going while you're, pursuing your studies?
Well, once I didn't want to live by myself, so I come to the elders and ask them, well, I'm going to go to Guatemala, from Guatemala to Louisiana, but I don't want to just live by myself. Mm-hmm. So this was a time that the first church in the United States was going to start. It started as a Verbo, and Verbo Church,
part of Verbo Ministries.
And I found that there was a family that was a pastor that I was open to receive me.
Yeah.
So I lived with him. I am the first person in my family to be a Christian. And I didn't know how to do and everything. And that was a model for me. I lived with him 4 years. And the pastor was amazing. And it really changed my life, basically. Just being with the family, family.
Okay. And so growing up, just to follow up on that, was your family, did your family go to church, or that was only really you?
It was just me.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And how did that?
I basically wanted to satisfy the desire, because then I went to the Catholic Church, but the Evangelical Church, just to appease them.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay, got it. And so, wow, so it certainly seems that you had this interesting dynamic growing up as well, right, with family, and maybe you were very involved, perhaps they weren't. And yet, at the same time, I think it sounds like you're also listening to your mom and dad, right, because they're like finished school, and so you're like, okay, I will. So you moved to the U.S., you're with this family. You said that they had a deep impact in your life. How did they have a deep impact in your life?
Well, just the manners. There was just praying, and every time that I had a doubt and a question, this pastor was available, and he taught me a lot, and not only for family, but how to live the Christian life, and how to honor people. And at one point, I was leading the good youth in the church, and that was my desire, because I wanted to be a professional car doctor, but at the same time, I knew God had a call for me.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's interesting. And so the entire time, it certainly sounds like you envisioned your journey would include both medicine and ministry. And
Correct.
You wanted to make those two things happen.
Definitely.
Speaking really quickly on sort of like the medicine aspect of it, because I know that's intriguing for anyone of our followers that are listening. As you get your practice, you graduate medical school, you decide to stay in Louisiana, and we'll talk about some of the reasons why as well, right? But what was it about, you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but about the human heart that sort of was interesting to you from a medical or science standpoint, that fascinated you?
Well, it was a process, because I love the heart, how it's so important in your body. But gradually I learned that God wants our hearts, and spiritually speaking, and He is the one that can give us emotions, and that's the way we just pursue the Christian life, and I found out in the Bible that the heart in the Bible is at least 800 times. They really talk about the heart, and I was impressed in both the natural and the spiritual rhythm.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, absolutely. And can you tell our listeners just a little bit about what is it that you do in your practice as a cardiologist? What are the types of things that interventions that you're making, sort of the patient demographics that you oversee?
Yes, I'm an interventional cardiologist, meaning that people that come with heart attacks, I'm able to take care of putting stents and doing angiograms and pacemakers. And so my practice is a clinic, and at the same time going to the hospital to attend the patients that are sick and in different situations. And I love both because I don't do the same thing every day. I have people that are sick in the hospital, and I attend them, but also the clinic, I have to follow up the patients, and it's definitely something. It's a good life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It seems it gives you a lot of variation as well, right?
Correct.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So, running a practice while staying connected to your patients, I imagine, isn't easy. How do you keep sort of the same? As long as I've known you, you've always been someone that is so kind and gentle with people and caring. And it doesn't seem, for me, that time and all this work has changed any of that for you. How do you keep that sort of as your focus?
I think that people come to the clinics and the hospital with their needs. And obviously, it's something natural. You heal the body, but there's a soul and there's a spirit in each one of us. And to me, it's important not to just apply the natural body aspect of the patient having this sickness, but I also talk to them about the spirit, their soul, and we end up praying with them because there's that it's a human nature that we have more than just a body,
Yeah. And how is it as well, like for you being able to speak Spanish with your Spanish-speaking patients? I imagine that makes a big difference as well, right?
Well, that's my main
demographic.
Yes.
How do you feel that your patients, this large Spanish-speaking population that come see you, I imagine not all their doctors speak Spanish, right?
Correct.
And so whether it's the relief or the comfort that they feel knowing that they can speak to you in Spanish. 'Cause I know I feel that in my practice, right? When my clients come to me and they know that I speak Spanish, it feels, and I've been told by many of my clients, like it feels like a weight lifted off of them. They're like, okay, this is something that I don't have to worry about. I can communicate and I can understand. How is it with your patients?
Oh, they are comfortable and just talking in the same language, and they feel definitely differently because we are able to really deep and ask questions that probably the other doctors wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, and it's such a valuable service to be able to do that, particularly in the medical field where it's like your doctor speaking directly to you, right? And as opposed through other, whether it's nurses or professionals, and that's great as well, but this is a wonderful component that you can provide.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a story from like your practice that has stayed with you, like after all these years that has had such like an impact in you?
There's a story of a patient that came with his brain was gone. He's a young fellow. I think he was doing drugs and everything, and he was basically dead. And nobody knew at that point who he was. So there's something called LOPA, that you could get the organs like the heart, the lungs, to give to other people that are. And but since he didn't have any identity, we couldn't do it.
Okay.
So I went to the ICU, and he was just on the machine, everything, and I just put my hand and I said, "I speak life." He was dead, basically. And so I went to the car, and then they called me, "Stat, come back." They found the identity. Okay, so now you have to do an angiogram on a dead people, a person.
Okay.
And why? Because I need to see if the heart was okay, to be
Donated,
to transfer
transfer.
to another patient, and that was the case.
Wow.
Finally, the life that I've put on this chest,
You prayed over him.
5 people receive life:
Oh my God.
a heart, a lung, a kidney, another kidney, and something that I don't remember right now, but there were 5 different organs that were transplanted, and people live because that dead person.
Wow. Yeah. Whereas otherwise, I mean, everybody would have chalked it up and said, "There's nothing to do here," or sort of that's it.
There's
And
so more need of transplants, that people are waiting and waiting, and in this case, this man was a blessing for them.
Yeah. It's also, I think, fascinating. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's fascinating that you, as well as a doctor, can see that even in that difficult moment, from a sort of spiritual side, praying over him, but you're also thinking, like, I know that medically speaking, he can still be a blessing for other people.
Definitely.
Right? And so
Definitely.
it's not a lost cause necessarily, even though, yes, this person has passed, but there is still opportunity for life for people around him as well. And so that you can see that is wonderful, because that's the doctor in you, that's the minister in you as well. That's sort of all that coming together at once.
It's exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
It's exciting.
So your one more question on your practice, your medical practice, is you start off, and at some point you also start growing, right? You mentioned earlier that you didn't necessarily want to go after riches, you didn't want to go after fame, but you've also, and I know sort of from afar and watching, learning about you, is that your practice has grown. You have been able to, I think, do these things that you didn't set out to do, because you decided to pursue a higher calling, but those things also came as a byproduct of your service to other people. Can you talk a little bit about that, and how sort of maybe the business developed without you necessarily putting that as your focus?
Yes. Well, God is being gracious to me, and it's just amazing. I can tell you miracle and after miracle and after miracle.
Yeah.
But basically, I have to be humble.
Yeah.
In the way that I have to honor God of His grace every day, because even in the practice, you are at risk at every patient, every angiogram. Something can go bad, and then it's difficult. Just trying to revive that person, and it's challenging every day. Mostly in the hospital, but at the same time, so grateful that God put a heart in my heart as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love that about you, your heart and humility. I mean, for our listeners, Dr. Soto is just someone who has, I think, through that heart and through that service, has grown this tremendous practice and brought, in all the ways that we think of sort of success and even fame and all these things, like, you have achieved that, and that has not been your purpose at all. And that's one thing that I admire so much, because even as you're answering here, you're kind of going, yeah, but it's, thank God, right? And yes, but I understand that I'm dealing with things that are very difficult. It's human health, and there's no necessarily joy in going like, hey, yes, I'm gonna get wealthy off of this, because that's not it. That's not the important thing. It's taking care of people. But all these things have sort of followed suit as a result of the way that you treat people and you go about your practice. Yeah. And so for somebody that's interested in medical school, right, and says, hey, like Dr. Soto, that he looks cool. Like I love the way that he is and that he gets to do all these things. What would be your advice for, say, like a young person who's interested in medical school? Like how should they approach this journey for them?
I think there's a way of just treating patients as a professional, but at the same time, understanding that the person has a need more than just body. And if you go through the spiritual and the I would say the feelings of the patients and consider that, look at them and listen. At this point, I would say medicine is going horrible because we are just computers. We don't see the patient. We don't see face to face. We are just on the computer, everything doing taking all the everything that patient has, but they need that
Human touch.
eye to eye. That's key for me. That's key.
That's so interesting that you say that, because I think that that's something that's also happening across many industries with technology, with AI coming out as well, is
Correct.
that there seems to be less and less of a human interaction. And that remains, though, the most important thing, because we're dealing with human beings, right?
That's right.
Is that the way that the practice has changed the most for you over these years?
A lot.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's just very cold as far as interaction, as far as this human and spiritual
Connection,
touch.
yeah.
Yes, that's key for everybody.
Interesting. I definitely feel like I hear that a lot across industries. And yet the very best that I hear speaking in the respective industries still talk about how important the human touch is and the connection
Definitely.
is. Because
Just
there's no
holding
substitute.
hands, just putting your hand in your chest and bless them. They really, I think they heal faster.
Yeah. What is that also about? Because there certainly is this spiritual component, right? We pray and we trust God to do His work. And then there's also, I think, how people feel as well, right? Because they also feel supported when you do something like that, right? They feel like there's somebody in their corner, and just like their attitude changing has an effect, I would imagine, as well, on their own healing as well, right?
Definitely. People come with anxiety, and everybody, when they come to the clinic, the blood pressure goes up like a white.
Wow,
Yeah,
sure.
it's just they don't know what happens and what they have, and just reassurance that they're going to do okay. There's definitely a process, the process to healing, and they feel better. They feel better.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's wonderful. So early on in your early years, how did it feel balancing your medical pursuit, right, and then your ministry pursuit at the same time? Because now we're rounding back and reminding our listeners, right, that was the most important thing to you, and that's what you wanted to do. So how was it for you balancing both of these things?
It was not easy because obviously the professional side, it was consuming, and at the same time my desire was to be at church and with the youth and everything else. So I think it was a ballot, just every day I say a ballot, because basically I wanted to be a good doctor, and at the same time I wanted to serve the church. So it's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah. See, and I love that in terms of you're pursuing both, and you want excellence in both, right?
Correct.
And you maybe feel like you can't because you're giving your time to both.
I felt guilty of not doing the 100% in each one, so
Yeah.
it was frustrating in a way.
Can we talk a little bit about that and how you sort of went about that as well personally? Because I think that's something that many people feel, right? Whether maybe it's they're battling between work and the responsibilities as parents as well, right? Sometimes we feel like we're not giving enough to our family, or maybe there's different things going on in life, and there's like this battle and the feeling of guilt, right? Because you can't. How did you go about that? Maybe it's something that just was there for a long time, and how did you eventually find this way to be able to feel that, you know what, actually both of these in this way that I'm giving it is good?
Every time that I, whatever I'm going to do, like an angiogram or pacemaker, I have to go to the bathroom because I need to pray and just ask God, Holy Spirit, help me, because I depend on Him. And that gives me peace. And I just put my hands in the Lord's hands and just say, well, I cannot do this unless you're with me.
Yeah.
And that's a very reassuring for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's powerful. And yeah, it's reassuring for you. And I guess you also come in with a different bit of, even with all the schooling and all the knowledge that you have, it's just like an extra bit of confidence as well as you go into the operating room.
That's right. That's right.
So you start ministry, you start practice. I wanted to ask you about your wife.
Oh, I love this part.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
This
That's
is what
the best
I love.
one.
Like, for everybody, right? This is when the eyes light up, right? So can you talk to us? Okay, how did you meet your wife, and how did all of that sort of get started?
Well,
By the
I
way,
didn't
Janet Soto, who we all very much love. She's amazing. I mean, everybody who meets her just, my mother loves her, right? So she's amazing. And so, yeah, please.
Well, at the time that I was transferring from Guatemala to Louisiana, I would say I made a vow, and I told the Lord, God, I want you to bring my wife to church, because I didn't have good experiences in Guatemala and everything else.
Sure.
I was fed up of everything else. So I say,
Many
you
people feel
bring
that way, yeah.
my wife at church. And basically that's what happened.
Wow.
I think almost 4 years living in Louisiana, and I was asking, is this the one? Is this the one? And
She's at
and,
church.
and finally that happened.
Okay.
She came
Wow.
with her brother, and I thought they were the couple to say, oh, this is a nice, beautiful girl, but she's
with somebody.
taken. And then finally I found out that they were brother and sister, and I was thrilled that was it. And it was so quick because in less than a year we were married.
Wow.
Because my wife was just at the same time desiring to wait. And he put a knock in her heart. I'm not gonna go with my emotions. I'm stopped with this. And at the same time, I was saying, "Your God, bring it to the church. I'm waiting for her, and I'll be waiting for her."
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I guess particularly with ministry being so important to you, it was important for you to somebody who shared your same ideals and also that wanted to be a part of ministry as well, right?
Especially I was gonna be 29 years old. I said, everybody about my friends were married, and what happened to me? Where is she? God. And she came.
Oh, that's awesome. And so I mentioned, your wife, and your eyes light up, and it's so beautiful to see. How has she shaped your life and your careers even, right? As a doctor, as a pastor, as a father, as a husband, how has she shaped your life?
She is very wise, and I get mad sometimes because she tells me, Luis, this, and this.
Yeah.
But she's right.
She's right.
She's right.
Yeah.
So she really helped me a lot. She's very industrious. She's handy. I mean, she can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that like that, and so I learned a lot from her. The wisdom, just how everything, the details, and her advices, to me is precious.
Precious, priceless.
Yes, priceless.
And you also have you have 4 children, 3 of whom are married. And we know all of them. They're amazing. How is it that you've and all of them have found their own path while also staying involved with the church as well? How is it that you were able to, or how do you think that was made possible growing up?
Well, I think it's miracle after miracle. With my wife, we just made 40 years of marriage this April.
Congratulations.
So we're so happy.
Yeah.
And at that point, our children were in different states.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea with her husband in Guatemala.
Yeah.
And then Danny in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And Isabella, after 14 years of the 3 first kids, surprise, we had another one.
Yeah.
And so this year, something happened because they're back. Andrea and David are with their 3 girls are back, and we have a little house here in Louisiana, and they're living there. And then 2 weeks ago, Danny and Abby and at the age we have 7 children, grandchildren, and they're back in our house over there, and so we are so blessed that well, I don't know what they want to be with us or just take it in the I don't want to talk about that, but they're there.
We'll accept the first one.
But we're happy with them, and especially with grandkids. We enjoy them a lot.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And when you look at your family today, your children, your wife, your children, your grandchildren, what are you most proud of? Not who, right? But what are you most proud of when you look at your family and you go, wow, especially now they're here in New Orleans?
Just being together.
Mm-hmm.
We started I would say 4 years ago, no, not more than that, 5-6 years ago, that we started to just go to vacation together. Now we are 16 of us, and we go at least twice a year. And now that they're everybody there, we're gonna see them every weekend.
Every weekend. No, that's beautiful. When you reflect back on your life and you think of these different callings that you have been able to sort of unite at the same time, can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because I think personally, one thing that I try not to do is that people sort of segment their lives, right? Here's work, here's church, here's my family. Whereas I don't know how you feel, but are there different segments, or are they all sort of just connected? And how did you go about, again, sort of this balance of everything in your life?
I gave credit to my wife because she loves her family. And sometimes that I have to go on a trip or she goes, Luis, what about your family? And she's definitely, to me, is key to listen to her, and because that's to me is priority. And sometimes I love church, I love ministry, but I think family's number one. Family is very important. Obviously, God is my priority, but family is above everything else.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because, I know how much through our conversation here as well that you care about ministry, right? And so for you to also say, and sometimes people do say, my family's my priority, but that might not always be the case. But when you say, I know that you mean it, how is it that, you came to this realization? I imagine it's at some point as the kids are growing up that, no, actually my family is even more important than my work within ministry.
That's correct. Well, you have to learn to say no.
Yeah.
Because obviously ministry and attending people, it's my heart is to bless people.
Yeah.
But again, my wife is my click that says, okay, well, no, you have your family and blah, blah. So definitely I would do it a priority. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Because you have to, and in a way, I love to help people.
Yeah.
But at the long term, family is gonna be stick with more than other people. You know.
Yeah. No, absolutely. When you think about your life, and somebody were to ask you, what does purpose mean to you today? How would you answer that?
Like family or just whatever I do?
Yeah, just in life, what is purpose? Yeah.
I think definitely loving the Lord is number one. And I've just came from a little 10 days of fasting, and my desire and my decision was to take away all distractions. And so I'm limited on my phone and everything else, but the scriptures is priority. So I'm committed to the Word of God, prayer, fasting, and just staying with my family as much as I can.
Yeah. And what is it about trying to set aside these distractions that you feel is something that helps you in your daily life?
How I...
And pursuing, you're talking about scripture and pursuing God and, getting rid of all these distractions. How does that help you?
It's just the grace of God. It's just like if you honor God, He's going to honor you. And sometimes I say, well, I have more time now. And because I'm giving Him time to Him. And it's just something supernatural that when you just cry to Him and spend time with Him, it's just smooth, It's just the grace of God.
Yeah. Well, we see, I think, very clearly here as well for you, Luis, is that there's such a deep and sense of humility within you that you, despite everything that I know about you and all these amazing things that you've done and who you are, that you are very much so you give it credit elsewhere, whether it's God, your wife, your family. Can you share with me just a little bit of how, and I know this is going to be a strange question to ask and for you to answer and maybe uncomfortable for you, but I'll ask anyways, is how humility has helped shape your life and your perspective?
I think it's just the Word of God because He loves humility. Jesus came from heaven. He had everything. He was God. And he became a human. And that's not good because everything
gave everything up.
To me, it's an example of humility. It's Jesus. And just having that role model that he is humble. And he's all the characteristics of God, and he could do it and kill people at this, and yet he died for us, and he gave his life, and to me, that's the whom I'm pursuing.
Yeah. And so many times I think people see humility as a weakness, but it's not. No.
It's the opposite. It's just how whatever you have, your gifts and everything, is to serve instead of just it's me, you know,
Right.
and that's humility.
Yeah. And as we sort of kind of come a little bit to the close of our time here, do you have any advice for people? I think people are always searching for their own purpose in their life, right? And the reason we call this podcast Art of Purpose, I think, is that everybody's had different ways at arriving at their purpose, and maybe there's no science to it necessarily. But what advice would you give for people that are still maybe have doubts or searching for purpose? How is it that they can find that?
I think it's priorities that each one of us just pursue all the things that we say, okay, this is good stuff. This is, I want to go this. I want to have a better house, a car, and those are definitely good stuff.
Yeah.
But I think I would recommend the purpose of just living for God, serving people, and loving your family, and just being there for whatever they need, and just enjoy every time of your life, just to give your best.
Yeah, yeah. And that your purpose will find you as you pursue that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
God is good.
Yeah, and that's helpful as well, I think, because a lot of times there's a lot of anxiety, right? People feel like I need to find it now. I need to know the answer now. And there's anxiety from this sort of uncertainty, right? And I love what you're saying in that it's like sort of focus on what's in front of you, essentially, right?
Definitely.
Prioritize these things that are in front of you. And as we do this and bring a little bit of order to our lives, our next step sort of begins to reveal itself as well.
Yeah, and it's not easy because obviously we like sports, we have any entertainment and everything that distracts you. But I think I would recommend to take a little pen, paper, and figure out what is priority for me and stick to it.
I love that. That makes it practical, that makes it easy to follow, and something that we can do immediately.
Amen.
Yeah. All right. Well, Doctor, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for making it. I know we're in the middle of a conference season. We're in a hotel right now. Everybody's sort of walking around.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting, and it's so much fun. And that you made the time to just, come on over and talk to us about a little bit about your journey, about your life. Thank you so much. Again, we're so honored that you spent the time with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate being here, and I'm proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. And, to all our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for going on this journey with us. Remember to like, subscribe, share. If, this was something that was impactful to you, I ask that you share this with somebody who would be able to take this and have this as a value add on to their life. So have a good one. Hello from New Orleans, Louisiana. And tune in next month as well for another great speaker and guest on Art of Purpose. Till next time.